It's January 2016. A man walks out of Google's offices in Silicon Valley for the last time. He has a laptop bag over his shoulder, a coffee in his hand. He looks calm. He is not calm. In that bag are 14,000 files, confidential, classified, the technical blueprints for the most valuable technology Google has ever built. Self-driving cars. His name is Anthony Levandowski, and he just started the most expensive corporate war in Silicon Valley history. To understand what he stole, you have to understand what he built. 2007. Google is not yet Google as we know it. It's a search engine that got lucky. But Larry Page has a vision that goes far beyond search. He wants to solve transportation. He believes the car, unchanged for a century, is the next frontier. He calls in a small team of engineers, gives them a blank check. One mission: build a car that drives itself. Anthony Levandowski is 27 years old. He is obsessive, brilliant, and constitutionally incapable of accepting that something can't be done. He builds his first self-driving motorcycle as a side project before Google even hires him. Not a car, a motorcycle, fully autonomous, just to prove he could. Google notices. He joins the team. Within months, he becomes indispensable. He isn't just an engineer, he's the engine. The person who makes things work when everyone else says it's impossible. The project gets a name: Chauffeur. Later, the world will know it as Waymo. For 8 years, Levandowski pours everything into Chauffeur. The team achieves things that engineers outside Silicon Valley don't believe are real. A self-driving car navigates San Francisco streets, then highways, then complex intersections. They rack up millions of autonomous miles. The technology at the center of it all is called LiDAR, light detection and ranging. It's essentially the car's eyes, a spinning sensor that fires millions of laser pulses per second and builds a precise 3D map of everything around the vehicle: obstacles, pedestrians, other cars, at distance, in real time. Google's LiDAR is proprietary, custom-built, years ahead of anything on the market. It's the single most important piece of technology in the race to autonomous vehicles. And Levandowski knows exactly how it works, because he helped design it. By 2015, something shifts. Google is a different company now. It's inside Alphabet. Bureaucracy has grown. Levandowski, who built his career by moving fast and breaking rules, is starting to feel the walls close in. The freedom that made the project possible is gone. There's also the money question. Outside Google, a war is breaking out. Every major automaker, every tech company, every venture fund with a pulse is throwing billions into autonomous vehicles. The market projection: $7 trillion by 2050. The person who cracks self-driving first doesn't just win a product race. They reshape how humanity moves. Levandowski looks around. He sees what he built. He sees what it's worth. And he makes a calculation. He starts copying files, not casually, systematically. Over several weeks, he downloads 14,000 confidential documents onto a personal hard drive: technical specifications, design schematics, test data, supplier lists, the complete blueprint for Google's LiDAR system. He is meticulous about it. He knows what he's taking. He knows what it means. In January 2016, he resigns. 2 weeks later, he files paperwork for a new company. He calls it Otto, officially a self-driving truck startup, unofficially a vehicle built on everything he just walked out of Google with. Now here's where it gets interesting. Otto launches in January 2016. By August 2016, 7 months later, Uber acquires it. Travis Kalanick, Uber's CEO, is in a desperate race. Uber's entire long-term business model depends on replacing drivers with autonomous vehicles. Without self-driving technology, Uber is just an expensive taxi company. With it, they become something else entirely. Kalanick knows Levandowski. They've been talking, privately, before Otto even launches. The acquisition isn't a coincidence. It's a plan. Levandowski lands at Uber as head of their self-driving division. He brings his team. He brings his vision. And, according to what Google will later allege in court, he brings 14,000 stolen files. Google finds out. Not immediately. It takes months. But in early 2017, Waymo, Google's self-driving subsidiary, files a lawsuit against Uber. The claim: trade secret theft, industrial espionage, the systematic looting of years of proprietary research. The evidence is specific, damning. Forensic analysis of Levandowski's devices revealed extensive downloads, a clear timeline, and significant scale. A key detail in the filing is a custom LiDAR circuit board in Uber's technology that closely resembles one he helped design at Google. Not similar, nearly identical. The lawsuit lands like a bomb. $1.86 billion in damages claimed. Waymo versus Uber. The trial date is set. Inside Uber, panic. Levandowski becomes a liability overnight. He refuses to cooperate with internal investigators. He invokes the Fifth Amendment, his right not to self-incriminate, over 400 times during depositions. Uber fires him in May 2017, 8 months after the acquisition. The man they paid $680 million to acquire is now walking out of their offices too. The trial never fully happens. In February 2018, Uber and Waymo settle. The terms: Uber hands over approximately $245 million in equity to Waymo. No admission of wrongdoing. Levandowski is now alone. No Google, no Uber, no Otto. The federal government has been watching the whole time. In 2019, the Department of Justice indicts him on 33 counts of trade secret theft. 33 counts, each one carrying potential prison time. The total exposure, decades. His defense is straightforward. He believed the files were his work, his ideas, his contributions. Where does an engineer's knowledge end and a company's intellectual property begin? If you spend 8 years building something, do you own it? Or does your employer? It doesn't save him. In August 2020, Levandowski pleads guilty to a single count of trade secret theft. He is sentenced to 18 months in federal prison and ordered to pay $756,000 in restitution. Then, COVID delays his reporting date. Then, in his final days in office, Donald Trump pardons him. January 2021. Full pardon. Levandowski walks free. The reaction is immediate and furious. Legal scholars call it extraordinary. A federal trade secret conviction, the kind of case prosecutors spend years building, wiped clean by executive order. Google says nothing publicly. Waymo says nothing publicly. But people notice. Levandowski had donated to causes connected to Trump allies. He had consulted on technology policy. The pardon is legal. Whether it's just is a different question. Here's what the Levandowski case actually reveals. Not just about one man's ambition, about the structure of Silicon Valley itself. The technology industry runs on talent mobility. Engineers move between companies. They carry knowledge in their heads. They build on what they learned at their last job. This is, in most cases, legal and normal and how innovation works. But the line between knowledge and theft is thin. And when the stakes are trillions of dollars, that line becomes a battlefield. Every major tech company has trade secret protections, NDAs, exit agreements, non-competes. But enforcement is inconsistent. The engineers who built something believe they own it. The companies that funded it believe they do. Most of the time, this tension stays quiet. Levandowski made it impossible to ignore. What happened to the technology? Waymo is still operating. It launched a commercial robo-taxi service in San Francisco and Phoenix. It's expanding. The LiDAR technology at the center of the lawsuit is still central to its operations. Uber sold its self-driving division in 2020 to Aurora Innovation. The division Levandowski was supposed to build never became what Kalanick imagined. It cost Uber billions. It cost Kalanick his job. He resigned as CEO in 2017. partly due to the compounding scandals, of which this was one. In 2011, a journalist asked Levandowski about the future of autonomous vehicles. He said, "The question isn't whether this happens. The question is who controls it when it does." He spent the next decade trying to be that person. He got closer than almost anyone and lost almost everything in the process. The technology he helped build is now on public roads. Every time a Waymo vehicle navigates an intersection in San Francisco, it's running on code and hardware that Levandowski touched. His name is nowhere on it. That's how corporate wars end. Not with a winner, with a filing, a settlement number, and someone else's logo on the work. Levandowski's story reveals the hidden rules of Silicon Valley, where the line between creation and theft belongs to the highest bidder. If you want more deep dives into corporate lore, like this video and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, who really owns an idea? The engineer or the capital? Thanks for watching.